She acted normal. Until they found the basement. For years, Marilyn Price was just the quiet woman who lived at the edge of town. She paid her bills early, never missed trash day, and always offered a polite smile. Neighbors described her as private but sweet, and her students at the local college said she had a calming presence like someone who'd been through something but never talked about it. She lived alone. No pets. No visitors. No family. Until one September afternoon, her landlord entered her house unannounced and never made it past the basement door. He was there to check a pipe. She wasn't home, and the basement was locked, with 3 padlocks and a rusted sliding bolt. That was strange. He called her. No answer. He waited an hour. Still no sign. Eventually, he took a crowbar from his truck. It took 15 minutes to break the door open. And once he stepped inside, he ran. The police report was redacted in half a dozen places. But what leaked was this. The basement was soundproofed. Dozens of antique toys lined the walls, untouched by dust. A faded calendar showed children's names on random dates. And one small twin-sized bed with restraints. There were no children. No bodies. But beneath the bed, inside a crawlspace, they found dozens of cassette tapes labeled with names, many of which matched real missing children from the past 3 decades. And Marilyn Price? She walked calmly into the station the next morning. She didn't ask for a lawyer. She didn't cry. She simply asked, "Did you listen to the tapes?" When they asked where the children were, she gave a cold answer. They were never here. Only what's left of them. She insisted she never hurt anyone. That her basement was a memorial. A listening room, she called it. The detectives were horrified. But not as horrified as they were once the tapes were transcribed. The recordings were real. Each tape featured the voice of a missing child, talking, singing, or simply existing. One girl whispered nursery rhymes. A boy described being taken in a van. Another said, "She said she'd take care of me." I believed her. But not all the tapes sounded scared. Some sounded calm, peaceful even, as if whoever recorded them had made them feel safe. But where were they now? Investigators dug into Marilyn's past. She'd moved 8 times in 15 years, always near a child abduction case. She had worked as a part-time school nurse, tutor, even a nanny. But the evidence wasn't clear. No fingerprints. No witnesses. No reported sightings. Marilyn maintained her story. I found the tapes. I didn't make them. But her handwriting was on some of the labels. And one of the children mentioned her name directly. "Miss Marilyn gives me hot cocoa before bed." Then came the twist no one expected. A man named Derek Malone stepped forward after seeing the story on the news. He was 34. At age 9, he had been listed as missing for 6 months before reappearing at a bus station with no memory of where he'd been. Now, hearing one of the voices on the news, he recognized his own childhood tone. And the strange part? "I remember her voice," he said. "She sang to me." He didn't remember pain. He remembered protection. More survivors came forward. All had similar stories. Missing time. A woman who whispered lullabies. And a return to society with no idea what had happened. None claimed she abused them. But all said one thing. We weren't afraid of her. We were afraid of what she was hiding us from. When asked what that was, they all said the same thing. The man with the bells. Police searched for any evidence. A few of the children had previously claimed to be running from someone, a man who jingled as he walked. Someone who called them his little projects. That man was never caught. Marilyn Price never denied his existence. "I only ever saved the ones I could," she said softly. Sometimes they didn't want to stay. At her trial, Marilyn didn't fight the charges, which ranged from obstruction to unlawful confinement. She was sentenced to 15 years, though no child could prove she caused them harm. Her final statement? "If you want to blame someone, blame the world for not listening to them. I only built a basement where someone finally would." The tapes were never released to the public. But parents of long-missing children were given access. Several matched voices. Others found closure. Some discovered their children had called out to Marilyn, not them, in their final moments. The house was torn down. But some still visit the empty lot. Especially parents. Especially those who never stopped searching. They light candles. They leave cassette tapes. Because now they understand. She didn't build a prison. She built a sanctuary. For the ones no one else ever came back for.